Alright guys, welcome back to Cinema Geeks.
Let's give a round of applause to you beautiful cinema geekers out there. This round of applause is to Chadwick Boseman and his family. He passed away on Friday, August 28th, of colon cancer. To those of you who are not familiar with the Chadwick Boseman, he was James Brown. He was Thurgood Marshall. Mm-hmm. He was Jackie Robinson. And of course, he was King T'Challa. Everything he did was just like really outstanding. He took on roles that, when you look back on it, or even at the time, they were just very prominent black, powerful people. And to see someone like Chadwick take on these roles while dealing with his cancer is just tremendous. Like, let's just give him a round of applause, man.
These are all facts. These are all factual statements. I think what we can also give a round of applause to Chadwick is that he was doing all these big roles, right, in the spotlight, in the media, and he was battling this illness for that long. That's crazy.
For
that's
4
amazing.
years.
That's amazing. Like, he took on he had, like you said, 2016 it was diagnosed, right? He didn't talk about it in public. Yet he was very active in supporting like charities and foundations with like children with cancer. That he was very big in doing that. And but he wasn't really out in public about himself actually tackling and battling. I'm not sure why he decided not to say it, but I mean, the things that he was doing while he was going through that was that's amazing. Shoot, me, I get sick, I'm not even shooting anything, right? This dude is taking on major roles, groundbreaking roles, and
he's doing more work. He's like, I'm sick. Oh well, give me that and that too. I'm gonna get it all done. It just makes me think, like, you guys remember when there was the meme of Chadwick Boseman, like, he's like, all right, I'm tired of saying I'm part of Wakanda forever now. Yeah. It's like, damn, like, I wish I could go back to that time and just fucking give him a hug or something. Be like, yo, man, like, thank you. Because this time that we live in, where social media, we all make jokes, haha, fun and games, it's cool up until you have something like this. Like, my man was suffering with colon cancer for 4 years and getting dragged on the internet because he's tired of he's tired of being called Wakanda for forever and all that. It's like, guys, damn, it's like, we just got to be more compassionate with one another. Just show love, you know.
Yeah, let's talk about the. I know it's been talked about a lot, like nonstop. But let's just talk about like the impact of him taking on a role. I mean, so the role of Black Panther, T'Challa. Yes, it's a fictitious role. He's not a real life person. He's not portraying a biopic of someone that is. Actually existed, but what it did for it's not just like an escapism role, like some people say, it's comic books, it's escapism, it's not real, it's not teaching you, it's not impactful, but yet it very well is very impactful. Like when it came out, before it even came out, before I knew that they were going to make a Black Panther movie, there used to be a lot of talk about like, oh, Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was like the most wealthiest person in history or whatever like that, right? Like worth I think 300 or 400 billion or whatever like that, right? He's a king from Mali, from the Mali Empire, right? And I was always like, man, there should be a movie about this dude. There should be a movie about Mansa Musa, a black king. We never get to see black king movies. Disney did not have any real black king movies. I mean, you want to count Lion King, but they had to change everybody to animals to get away with that and animate it. So you didn't really take that as this is a black African king movie. But then like a couple of months after that happened, I happened to get like a media outlet posting a headline saying Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are teaming up to make an African king film. And I was like, damn, they're probably going to do Mansa Musa. Then a couple of months later, you figure out that Ryan Coogler is going to be directing the Black Panther movie. And then it was like, everyone was like, who's Black Panther? Because it wasn't that big of a Marvel property then, even though it came out like what the 70s or whatever. It's been out for a while.
Black
right?
Panther, he just wasn't that popular of a character.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's getting towards the date and everything like that, and it's building up. Everyone's hyped. The trailer first comes out. At this point, Chadwick has already been casted, obviously. The trailer comes out, and like now, everyone is hyped. The trailer is fire. Everyone is hyped. And it's to the point where it's like, yo, we're finally gonna have a African king live action being done by a major studio movie that's coming out. So like, it's a part of the MCU also. Yeah, so you know it's not gonna be trash.
It's also a very critical part of the MCU because this is right before.
This is Civil War. It's
This is right before Endgame, or is this after Endgame?
This is before Endgame, way before. This is 3 years before Endgame. 3 years before Endgame, Captain America.
No, I'm talking about Black Panther. Black Panther comes out.
Oh, my fault. Sorry, because he was in
American Civil
War.
He
was in Civil War, which was 2 years before it, right?
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah, he was 2 years before it, everything like that. So I guess I left that out of the story. Chadwick Boseman was already casted as it or whatever like that, but it was just that Ryan Coogler was put onto it at this time. I don't know if you knew that yet when Civil War came out that Ryan Coogler was attached to the project.
Yeah.
So that Ryan Coogler, fresh off of Fruitville Station, huge movie.
Yeah.
It was lower scale because it was kind of like a independent, not independent I would say, but it was kind of like it went through the film festival circuit and then it got into the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Then after that, what was that? Rocky didn't come out. I mean,
Creed.
Not Rocky. Creed didn't come out yet.
Creed
come out before Black Panther?
Creed came out
so we
before.
had that also, and that was like a smash hit, right?
Yeah.
So you know this dude is a credible director and he's gonna deliver, right? And he had Michael B. Jordan tagging along with him and everything like that, and then they come together. They always make gold. So you know this movie was gonna be like official. There wasn't gonna be no. I don't know. I'm not really feeling a Black Panther. You know,
wait. Hold on. There were people like that. There were some people who were like, "Oh, we can't have an all-black cast."
Well, that was the saying in Hollywood.
You can't have an all-black cast. You may not get all the money that you put into it back.
People don't want to see an all-black cast. Yes.
Blah blah blah. Now here comes Ryan Coogler, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Angela Bassett. Who am I missing?
Forrest Whitaker.
Who am I missing?
The dude from
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya was in there. What's the guy's name for This Is Us who played the brother? I forgot his name.
I know who you're talking about. M'Baku, but I forgot.
Not M'Baku. The brother, his brother. He played T'Challa's uncle. I forgot his name. What's the guy's name?
He played Michael B. Jordan's dad.
Yes. Michael B. Jordan's dad.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But also, M'Baku was in this movie too.
But he wasn't as big as this guy. This guy's a little bit. He's ahead of M'Baku.
Us put M'Baku.
But the Us was after. this. So.
I'm just saying. Anyway, all of these prominent black actors together.
All black cast cannot bring the numbers.
Come together and they make Disney its first $1 billion movie.
They made Disney. They gave Disney. They gave Marvel their first Academy Award too.
Yeah.
They knocked it out. But I was leading up to the point. So leading up to the point, it was becoming so big that they were giving away tickets to schools. A lot of minority kids too. Let's just go back to the fact that like minority kids now have they have a main superhero character who is also a king of like a freaking advanced technological society who was not fazed by colonization or slavery or any of that. These dudes are all independent and powerful. You had that image of a character now to look up to, of like a young black kid or whatever, right? And they get to look at that image and they're like, yo, I this is me when I grow up right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't normally have that. You didn't really have that like that.
Nah, you didn't. Like, when I was growing up, the first superhero the first black superhero that I saw Spawn. And could think of as a superhero was Spawn. Spawn is not like...
They mutilated him.
Yeah, he's not a king. He's not.
But also, you couldn't even see his face anymore. He's gone.
You could see Spawn's face.
I mean, but like, it didn't look like a human. So his face was burned.
He was burned. But he still looked like a human. He just looked disfigured.
Yeah,
kind of like Deadpool. But that's besides the point. I mean, I was saying that to say like, Spawn was the first black superhero I saw, and
he was attached to hell.
Didn't want to be like him.
He was too dark.
He was cool though. Like, don't get me wrong.
Spawn was cool, but it was too scary.
Yeah, like
it was
he had chains coming out of his back. He was cool. He was powerful. Didn't want to be like him. Static Shock. He was more of now.
They didn't have a live action, but Static Shock. Exactly. Static Shock was.
That was the guy I could relate to.
Yes,
he was like me.
Way more relatable.
He was on the street, ground level. We saw eye to eye. T'Challa was like what I would imagine Superman to be like for kids. He was like an inspiration. I growing up, for me, there were not that many black superheroes, and the black superheroes that we had, Blade and Spawn, were not superheroes that you wanted to be like.
They weren't relatable.
I didn't want to be a vampire.
Right. They're not going home falling in love, having a girlfriend and whatnot. I couldn't relate to that.
I'm not trying to be a hellspawn working for Satan.
Right.
Nah, I wasn't trying to do any of that. But then you see T'Challa and somebody who was...
You also have Meteor Man, too. I forgot about Meteor Man. Throwback. Meteor Man. Everybody know Meteor Man.
Robert Townsend?
They probably don't know Meteor Man.
Come on. Oh wait, there's also Blank Man with Marlon Wayans. Okay, all right.
They had a few. They had a few here. They weren't on the level of what Black Panther was, but there was definitely a few. Yeah. There was a few. They tried to fill that gap.
I'm not trying to take away from Meteor Man or Blank Man,
but this is like,
there's a certain seriousness with Black Panther that those movies didn't have. And that's not to take away from them. They're great movies. You should all watch them. But with T'Challa and Black Panther, it was like, oh shoot, the veil on children's eyes were just being removed. You can aspire to be like this man. You can aspire to be advanced, to have a cool society where we all are like-minded. You can be the leader that you want to be. Like, that movie was just really good, and the fact that he's gone, just, I feel sad for all of the children who may not get a chance to really understand the gravitas of what Chadwick had in that role. Like, I don't know, man.
But there's something about like the whole thing about like so. Kind of like when President Barack Obama came into office, right? Before then, as a kid, you could possibly think of being president, but then in the back of your head, it was always like, nah, that'll probably not really happen. But then you had kids, because he was like elected in 2008, right?
Yeah.
You had kids being born then that were like, by his second term, they were like 7 and 6. You tell them, you're like, yo, you know, he's the first black president. There wasn't any black president before then. They'll probably respond to you like, really? Like, that's cool. That's like they were born into a privilege of like not understanding that before Barack Obama was president, you being a black person, a black kid saying I want to be president, it was kind of very bleak. Like, it was kind of like that possibly will not happen. Now it's like, oh, that's all I know. All I know is seeing a black man in the office, and I feel like it's that for what Black Panther is now is like. Oh, there's the Black Panther. He is like mad powerful, mad important in MCU, mad resourceful, has his own army. Like, it's like, you know, he's not poor, he's wealthy as fuck, and it's just like. That's cool to be born into that to know, oh, that exists, because at one point in time there also wasn't really any black kings that Disney was doing. There wasn't any black superheroes who were the lead in Marvel big budget live action films, and now there are, and I think that's also nice. I mean, yeah, it's good to know like the struggle that it took to get there, so many years and so many other things that like your meaty man to blank your what's it called, blank man, your blades, your spawns. These are like little stepping stones it took to get to the Black Panther, right? And I mean, I think it's like pros and cons to it. They don't know the struggle that it really took. You have to give them that. You have to tell them all about that. But also they get to live, like they get to now dream bigger. It's like, oh, I don't want to be I don't have to like the first. I have to break all these doors down or whatever. Like, the door's open for you now. Yeah, it's open. You know,
kids nowadays don't have to choose between being Spawn or Blade. Yeah. They can now be
anything.
Barack Obama or T'Challa.
And I love the fact that they had like the sister Shuri, who's like freaking super smart. She's like the head scientist right there, and she's just designing all this crazy technology and inventions for it. And it's like, that's also something else. Remember, they had the whole thing about the whole Spider-Man before Miles Morales came into play,
being black,
and they like people were on the internet trolling, saying, "Oh, the black kids are not into science." I'm like, what? Come on, dogs. It's like, what? There's so many different types of people out there to think that there are not kids of minority descent or from an urban area or whatever that are not into science and looking at astronomy and like tech and all that stuff. Like, that's crazy to think that, and I'm just glad that they did create a Miles Morales now, right?
I just wanted to say thank you to Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler and the whole Marvel cast, but Chadwick Boseman specifically, for being able to bring us these characters to life. I feel as though it's very important for people to be able to see something, because when you see it, it makes it like real. Oh shit, that I saw it, so I could do it too. And in us being able to see ourselves represented on screen that way, I feel as though, like what Nick is saying, it just only makes the youth aspire to be that much more.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you know, like, and going back to Chadwick, like it wasn't just King T'Challa he was bringing us. He was James Brown, the father of soul. Okay, he was
Jackie Robinson,
the first black baseball player. Like,
blood into the league.
He was taking on roles that were like
Thurgood Marshall, also, yeah.
Exactly, very impactful.
He did a lot, man,
for black youth.
He did a lot,
and I feel as though like his legacy, like he did a tremendous thing. Like, for children to be able to look at him on screen and for him to be able to act as well as he did and relive some of these historic moments that actually happened for kids to witness, just as like an inspiration for them. Like, he's like sowed the seeds for so many minds to just grow. You know, like that Tupac saying, it's like, I may not be the mind that changed the world, but I can affect the mind that possibly will. That feels like that's like what Chadwick has done. Like,
definitely.
And it's just sad. It's just sad when, you know, like, he's made, and this is me doing conspiracy, all this, like, it's not really a conspiracy, but I'm just saying, like, this man has made billions and billions of dollars. Like, it just sucks that T'Challa, the man who played T'Challa, did not have like the medical equipment necessary to keep his life, to preserve his life. And I just wish that we were at a place in society where things like this wouldn't happen.
This is, it's just furthering, you know, people. We're at a point where in medical, I guess, science and industry, where a lot of new things are coming out, and when you have someone like Chadwick Boseman, who played these very inspirational roles, and passing of something like colon cancer or something like that, it just gives it more awareness, definitely in a darker and a sadder and a depressed like way, that you're bringing awareness to these illnesses that are still like taking lives and everything. But like, it's like usually when a life is taken like that and it impacts someone in a very like a deep way, as a young person, it kind of like puts it in your head like, yo, when I grow up, I want to cure this, or I want to cure that. I want to, like, you know, and it's a sad way. It's like a sad equation. Oh, for you to want to cure this, you have to lose this person. It's like that with family members. When you use a family member to these, a lot of people, they're young kids, they grow up like, oh, I want to be a doctor because I want to stop this.
Because my grandma died from that.
That. And I mean, it's a sad thing that happened, but his death could have equated to, like, I don't know how many people that want to like grow up and go to school and try to figure out how to stop that, you know, how to stop that disease or that illness.
That's true. And with the fact that he impacted so many kids too, like,
right? He was very impactful. Like, he did a lot, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I wanted to move on to not far away from Chadwick Boseman, but the role that he still obviously was tied on into Black Panther, and obviously, you know, there was going to be coming up with another season and everything. Sequel. How do you feel about them? Black Panther 2 is supposed to be coming out in 2022. They were supposed to, I think, they didn't start filming it at all. So he's not going to be in the movie, at least that he actually did recited lines for it. I don't know how Marvel and Disney's going to do it. But how do you feel of them recasting him? Do you want to see, there's been a lot of flashing back saying like they don't want to see him recasted. They want,
honestly, I feel as though, one, like, let the man rest in peace. Like, before we're all up in arms about recasting, like, the man just passed away. Mm-hmm. Like, let him rest.
But I think that's a part of it. I think people want to see in the next movie his character with like an honorary burial that's like kind of like dedicated to him. I don't think they want to. I know, like, you don't want to move on and start like, oh, wait, we're still trying to focus and give our you know, what you call condolences to him and his family. But like, this role was so big and impactful that a lot of people are like thinking about like, yo, I don't want to see his, like, him being like painted over. I want to see I want to see in the next Black Panther movie, we pay respects to Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. That's kind of like how I look at it. I understand that how the outlook, like, oh, we're moving past to something that's not real or whatever like that. But I mean, like, that's kind of like it's attached to his legacy as well. T'Challa, like that was him, you know. So,
how do I feel about somebody playing the role of Black Panther that isn't Chadwick Boseman?
Not Black Panther, T'Challa.
No, yeah. How do I feel about the role of somebody playing the role of T'Challa?
The Black Panther. Yeah,
I'm honestly okay with other people playing T'Challa, especially because we were once in a time where there weren't that many black representations, especially of these characters. So now, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman has passed away.
Yeah.
But in him passing away, it's now given an opportunity for another black person to step in and do something phenomenal with that role. And that's nothing to take away from Chadwick Boseman. What he did is will forever be cemented. His Black Panther is the Black Panther that kids growing up today will remember. The fact that he was in Endgame and all of the kids saw him like, Chadwick Boseman isn't going anywhere in these children's mind. But we shouldn't close ourselves off to someone else, another talented person being able to play this role.
I see your point. However, I feel like they should just I feel like it's kind of like how they do things like in sports, how they'll just like retire the number. I feel like they need to just retire the T'Challa character.
Wait, so then what? So when Christopher Reeves died after he played Superman, and then you have Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Like, so the only thing about that with Superman and the Superman and the whole Black Panther thing is that he's like the first time you're seeing Black Panther, and it's still strung along to the same storyline and the same actors, and it's still. I still feel like that character right now in the world, in the universe they have, is too much still associated with Chadwick Boseman, and I kind of just feel like I don't know. I feel like it may be time to, like, all right, it happened very quickly. Obviously, they probably at least wanted to get at least 3 more movies out of a T'Challa character, but I feel like hey. This is a great opportunity to maybe, like, I don't know, refresh the Black Panther storyline a little bit more. Even though we know that Shuri once does wear the Black Panther, take up the Black Panther mantle or whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like they should retire the T'Challa character out of respect to Chadwick Boseman. Bring in another character. It's going to take some new writing maybe, or maybe they could pull from the comic books. I don't know, people even trying to say, yo, bring Killmonger back, make him good, make him take up the mantle again or whatever, because, you know, he did that in the first one. We put in a very opposing way to T'Challa. But I don't know, I just feel like the second movie should have like some sort of a burial, honorary. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know they're going to have to, like, I know it's like crazy disruptive to probably what they actually had planned for the sequel, but hey, you just lost someone big.
I mean, but I feel as though even in your writing way around the character T'Challa, like, you don't have to have a new T'Challa. Even in the context of your script, you have time travel that has been introduced. Yeah. You can have somebody go back in time, and there's a younger T'Challa played by a younger actor. I
guess that's a way of doing it.
Chadwick, and you're still keeping the legacy of Chadwick alive and allowing somebody else to be Black Panther. I mean, like, look,
that's a way of doing it.
I'm not of the idea of Chadwick Boseman is dead, T'Challa's dead too. They're buried together. Chadwick has elevated T'Challa to another level. So whomever we choose to or accept as the next T'Challa, there's a bar that has been set.
Yeah.
Not any old rinky-dink person off the street could play this person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Chadwick did his thing, set the bar high. I wouldn't expect anything less than whoever they decide, you know, if they decide to go that route.
All right. We will see what they do with that. That's a hard task to take on. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but as we go on, Chadwick Boseman still had one other film left to be released called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Where he's playing a role, and the character he's playing is called Levy, and the film is coming out on Netflix, and I read somewhere that they're trying to say that it's coming out for award seasons, as if they're trying to make this a contender for an Oscar. I mean, it was directed by George C. Wolfe. He directed the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. If you know that story about the black woman, I think she had an illness. When she went to the hospital, they took I guess a sample of her blood. She passed away, and they've used her DNA to basically create treatments for several other illnesses and everything like that. And they kept doing it over and over for decades and decades, yet her family never saw any type of the profit that these companies made off of.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But that was a big movie. Oprah played, I think, Henrietta in that movie. And the star in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, it's starring Viola Davis. And it's produced by Denzel Washington. So the movie looks like it has the right people in there, right? It's set in 1920 Chicago. And Ma Rainey is what is it? It's centered on a fateful recording session of the mother of blues, Ma Rainey, in 1920 Chicago. Excuse me. I don't know. That's something to look forward to on Netflix coming up. So
definitely.
We'll see how that does.
I feel as though that this may be Netflix's #1 streaming movie. It may be Bright also.
It may be like a Bright. I mean,
I think it may beat Bright.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely going to be eyes and a lot of expectation. And, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, man. Again, I just want to pay my condolences to Chadwick Boseman and his family, to his fans, everybody out there who has been, impacted by this man one way or another. Life is short. You don't know when you're going to go. I just say we just show compassion to those around us. Be more kind, more compassionate. And you don't know what somebody's dealing with. So,
guys, this is Cinema Geeks. We're out of here. Peace.